Welcome viewers to one and only The Toilet Show from Tahira Azam, Islamabad, Pakistan. Today my guest is Natalie Jane Thomas from UK. Welcome Natalie to our show and thank you for joining us.
Hi everybody. Sorry, the signal was really poor. My name is Natalie Jane Thomas and I live on the Isle of Wight in the United Kingdom. So for the purpose of your audience, the Isle of Wight is a small island, approximately 140,000 people. It's on the south coast, really pretty in the summer, really nice. You think to yourself, don't need to go to Spain, just stay here. I'm a mum. I've got two children. I have a 14-year-old son. I have a 5-year-old who no doubt will want to come and gate crash whilst I'm on Facebook. I am a student. I am currently studying leadership and management virtually, as that's what works being a mum and being a student, because I wouldn't have time to go to a bricks and mortar college. I've just got used to studying from home. I am in process of building a business as well. I like a challenge, and that business is selling positive, focused gifts, because right now in the middle of a global pandemic, we need to be positive. We need positive, thoughtful items that can just inspire and motivate people. I'm also a Toastmaster. So for the purpose of your audience, Toastmasters is a global organisation that helps people become better communicators. It helps people if they want to become leaders. So what I always say to people who don't speak English as a first language, do it. By far, it is the best financial investment you will make, because where it's a global organisation, you get the opportunity to speak to people who might be from the UK, from Australia or America, and you can help build on your communication skills. So I've been a Toastmaster now since June 2020, and by far I have seen the positive rewards that financial investment has had. So that's me in a very short snippet.
Thank you Natalie for such a detailed introduction. Natalie, when you heard about the toilet show, you contacted me, and it's really encouraging for me that somebody sitting very far off place contacted me and showed interest. So when you read about this the toilet show and about me that I'm working on SUD6, so what comes into your mind, what came into your mind?
So I saw the video on Rehan Facebook, and I thought, okay, this looks really interesting. So I watched it, and I just sat there and I was like, wow, oh my word. As a British person, as a mum, I popped to the bathroom and I think nothing of it. And I think it was just the way that video was done and how it was so impactful. It made me go, oh my words, wow. And I think what made me want to connect was, as a mum, my daughter Ju will be 6 at the end of next month, and she as an individual would think nothing of going to the toilet. Whereas if I would say to her, Gia, do you know children your age living in Pakistan might not have a toilet? She'd probably look at me and go, why? And I think it was just that alarming factor of something as human beings we take for granted. People in Pakistan, I know there is other countries again with this problem, but focusing on Pakistan, it just made me go, wow, why in 2021 is sanitation such an issue still? Because as human beings, everybody needs a wee. Do you know what I mean? And it just made me go, I need to try, if it's through Toastmasters, like I mentioned, just to actually make people of a Western society stop and think. Because, like it shows in that video, the best ideas are made when you are on the toilet. I think sometimes as a mum, when you've got a busy life or whatever, just sitting on the toilet for 10 minutes is like peace and quiet. Yet mums, dads, people in Pakistan don't have that luxury, and it made me go, I've got to just share this valuable fact that there's communities and countries that don't even have a simple thing like a toilet.
So, Natalie, when you came to know about all these facts of Pakistan, the prevalence of very low of sanitation, good sanitation availability, and the less access of clean and safe toilets, which is, I think, it's not an issue for UK or for any first world country. Though in Pakistan there are many organizations like WaterAid, like other organizations, and also the government itself. They are doing a lot of work to have access for clean and safe toilets for all, but we have a big um, population, and as well as they have a great need to have this access. So what can you people, while sitting, in developed countries with all available basic civic facilities, how you people can help or support people like us in Pakistan who are working to aware and to advocate for the provision of clean and safe toilet for all without any discrimination. And let me share with you that clean and safe toilet, it's more an issue for the female and the children, because due to non availability of clean and safe toilet, they have to do the open defecation, and the female in our rural areas and in more most difficult areas, they have to control their biological need until the dark, or they used to go very early in the morning before sunrise. So it also has numerous health effects on their bodies. So it creates health issues for those women, girls, and elderly women, and also for the children. Though our men also suffer, but somehow it's something, it's acceptable, or it's general perception that men can have, anywhere they can defecate. But for women to have kind of a privacy and safety, it's a major need. So how you people, how sensitive or sensitized people like you, while sitting in a better situation, how you can help us or support us in to combat this issue?
So I know, I'm not sure the origin of the charity, but there's a charity. I know why, because my local Methodist church in Freshwater Village has a twinned toilet. I can't remember which country, but that toilet is twinned with another toilet, either in, like, say, Kenya, Africa. It's somewhere in a third world country. And I think of the potential, if we was to just say focus on churches, for example, to twin every single church in the United Kingdom with a toilet in Pakistan, at least that's something, because I think when I was researching it, I think it costs like £60 to twin a toilet. And I think it's like the UK has got plenty of churches, there's tons on the island. And I think it's just highlighting and having, I think, churches and different like charities just to highlight something so simple, so basic, and so everyday that, hang on a minute, there's people that do not have these facilities. And I think it's kind of just highlighting the need, because if one church can twin a toilet, why can't other churches twin toilets? And I think what I see is really valuable is that changing curriculum, just to show children and young people the importance of gratitude. It sounds absolutely pathetic of being grateful for having a toilet, but if you was that child in Pakistan, or if I was that woman in Pakistan and I was menstruating, for example, I would be terrified of thinking, okay, do I have to go out when it's dark? And I think it's like, I never ever in a million years can understand how women my age in Pakistan feel. But I think as a British person, why can't we as a nation just talk about it more? I think it's kind of like, I know some like topics are taboo, but it's kind of like, as I mentioned earlier, on as human beings, part of our bodily function, we have to go to the toilet. And why are there so many places without the basic toilets? And I look at it of like the basic sanitation, because you think of children, they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand this whole concept of you don't have this. And I look at it and I think, how I think to myself, how do communities cope with it? Because I think it's kind of like, if you was to get a group of Brits, for example, and put that group of Brits in Pakistan and go, okay, you've got a week without a toilet, I think people would be like, yeah, no, yeah, these people have to do this day in, day out. And I think, why can't more be done?
Thank you, Natalie. It's really, really heart touching the way you feel the issue and the way you realize this um, problem of our people. Actually, but I would, because you guys are kind of an advocates for our people, and it's not only our Pakistan's problem. Of course, when I'm from Pakistan, I will be focusing only to my own homeland, because before I will improve my own home, own country, and then I will look to support to other people. So it's quite natural and normal that if I talk with you and anybody, from UK or from any country, I will certainly request those people that please join hands with us, and we want to combat this problem, and we want to overcome this situation. And we have a dream that whole Pakistan should be open defecation free. So this is something we are working in our foundation, and we are trying to do. And this show purpose is also to create awareness and to get support from all over the world, to have to find out the solutions, low cost solutions, low cost models and designs, according to, because we have a very diverse topography in Pakistan. We have mountainous areas, we have deserts, we have plain lands, and all kind of, so we need multiple types of designs according to the different areas need, and as per the availability of water. Of course, we
Right.
also don't want to contaminate our ecology as well, environment as well. So this is something. So you were also sharing that you are preparing a presentation. So what sort of presentation you are preparing, and what uh, would be the topic for that presentation?
So, as a Toastmaster, one of the first parts of a Toastmaster's path is doing a research and presenting topic. So, that's a topic that isn't familiar to you, but you go and research and then you present it to a Toastmasters audience. And I thought, why not? Why not do a Toastmasters project on toilets? Because every single Toastmaster has a toilet nigh on. Do you know what I mean? And it's just what I want to try and do with the impacts that I'd like to make is just people just to go the next time they go to the toilet, just to stop and think of, okay, I'm grateful for having this toilet because people in other countries don't have that. So if I can just make them think differently, I've made that impact that I'd like to achieve. Because I think the thing that COVID has brought out globally is different countries' struggles, because COVID has affected every single country nigh on this planet. And I think now we've got this opportunity to build on these connections, because for the first time we've all been impacted by the same thing. And I look at it and I think, okay, now is the time that these countries should start to really highlight things like lack of toilets, because moving forward in the new normal, the world's not going to be what it was back in 2019. Economies have been absolutely destroyed. Family finances have been destroyed. Yet, based on a Brit, for example, a British family might not have a lot of money, but they'll still have a toilet. That toilet will still be there. Do you know what I mean? But it's kind of like, which that focus it on Pakistan, there isn't going to be that toilet there. And I think it's kind of like just making people think differently about the future is my ultimate goal through this Toastmaster speech that I'm working on.
Natalie, after your degree, what you are thinking that, as you also shared that you are also working or running a company. So, what kind of your future goals are?
I think my future goals are just to help as many people as I can, because I was reading, I think it was probably on Rehan Facebook, about success. And I, as an individual, I think because of the connections that I've made with people in Pakistan and, like, say, different parts of Africa, success in my eyes isn't about how much money you've got in the bank. If you've been able to plant a seed of hope in another individual, that's success. And I think it's kind of like, if I can somehow make more British children appreciate a toilet, Bob's your uncle, I'll be happy. Because Jim always, like, she runs up and she's like, Mummy, I'm going to have a wee. But I'm kind of like, if I was to say to her, Gia, did you know children in Pakistan might not have a toilet? She'd just look at me as to be like, there'd be a blank expression. But I think it's kind of like moving forwards. I think there needs to be a bigger highlight of cultural differences, of the respect of what we all take for granted. Because I think it's like, I was having this conversation with somebody earlier on about poverty in the UK, and I think people say, yeah, they ain't got a new TV or they ain't got new trainers, yet people in the really deprived parts of Pakistan can't even wash their hands with clean water. And it just makes me sad. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I wouldn't think any different of going and washing my hands, yet these people can't even do that. And I think it's like, come on, folks, we've got to start just looking at the basic gratitudes, because you go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need shelter. You need all of these basic things, yet these cultures don't even have that. That
So
is my
Natalie, when a few days earlier there was a post by Rehan that if someone have a certain million
yeah,
dollars, and what would that person would like to do with that, and you replied that you want to have the toilets, and then there was a discussion started on
there was,
that. So how did you feel about that discussion? And you clarified, and then that person. This is kind of also a kind of a misconception. Let me share with you. Yes, we have, Alhamdulillah, a lot of mosques in our country, and with mosques we have the toilets, but the problem is that most of the time those toilets are locked. They open only for the prayer times, for people to do the wuzu, to do the ablution,
yeah,
and then they are closed. And most of them, if they are open, they are not in a good condition. So that, and those toilets are mostly used by the men. Usually, um if a women need to use that, it's something, it's a kind of an, it's a that it's not a common practice, or it's not looked at, somehow it's looked weird that if a woman using the mosque toilet. So we
yeah.
have
Mm-hmm.
51% women population in Pakistan, so we are more than men. And at the same time, we don't have enough public toilets
Mm-hmm.
for women in public places, and the ones who are available, majority of those public toilets, even in the offices, even in the markets, even in, so it's really difficult, it's really hard. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the same in Pakistan. The people who are living in big cities, who are somehow privileged, who have all the facilities, for them it's also something, they don't accept this reality that there are thousands and, thousands of people in our country who don't have access to the basic, very basic type or design of latrine. So how did you feel on that discussion? That was very interesting.
I think it was kind of like, it was interesting, I've got to admit. But then I looked at it and I thought, I can't remember now how I made my first connection with somebody in Pakistan. I can't remember. I think it might have been July last year. And in a way, it's kind of like, I've been learning about Pakistan 6-7 months now. And it's kind of like, I do this when I have a spare couple of minutes. I'll read something, or if I've got half an hour, I'll speak to somebody else. So I'm learning from the conversations that I have with people. So I thought, it's like, hang on a minute, give me a break, because I'm a busy woman, I'm a mum, I am learning. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, there's always going to be those arguments out there. But I thought, like I've mentioned, we've got an opportunity now because of COVID, because of the global impact COVID has had, to start bringing these real issues to people's attention. But I think one of the things here is, say, the youth population. I think it might have been the summer. I was looking on Facebook, and in the local village that I live, a group of youths decided to go and trash the toilet. And I just think to myself, why? Do you know what I mean? And I think there's just that whole, there needs to be more global awareness of, okay, you get rid of your water, you get rid of your sanitation. Do you know you could then potentially get all of these health related issues? And I think it's kind of like, it was interesting. I didn't feel happy, I didn't feel sad. I kind of thought, I'm a Brit, I don't live in Pakistan. I've only been really paying attention to the cultural difference for less than half a year. Give us a break.
So, I do agree with you. Have you any plan in future to sometimes visit to Pakistan
I would
or?
like to, because I think it's like, I started to learn about Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi, and I thought I had this vision in my mind that, okay, Pakistan's going to look like this. Yet when I looked actually on Wikipedia and I looked at like different pictures, I was like, wow. And I think it's like the general consensus of the people I've connected with, people in Pakistan are so intellectual. It makes me go, yes, I might not be of that faith, but why can't I go and experience a different culture? Because at the end of the day, you look at it, people who live in Bradford, Manchester, Birmingham are of a Muslim faith, and they might have family in Pakistan. So why can't there be this bigger connection of people that want to learn different cultures? Because I look at it, some of these cultures have just got such a different way and approach to everyday life. And I think to myself, who knows, in the future there might be a way like Pakistani people go day to day, and I might be like, I'm going to try that, and it might work. Yeah, it might not be something that I would ever have thought of, if you know what I mean.
Thank you, Natalie, for your valuable time and very interesting thoughts. My viewers are with us, and thank you to our viewers for being with us. And keep in touch. I would love to host you when you visit into Pakistan, and I would request you to please spread this message of love to the UK people, that we love you and we respect you, and we need and we seek support from you. It's not only in terms of that we want some financial support, because moral support, information sharing, and experience sharing, it's much important than the financial support. So
Completely.
let's I feel that I have a great supporter in UK in your shape. So thank you, Natalie, for joining my show and giving your valuable time. Thank you very much. It's really pleasure to talk with you.
That's okay. Keep on doing what you're doing, because I think it needs people like you to just be behind something like this, making the impact that you're making. So keep going.
Thank you. Bye
No,
bye. Have a nice
bye.
evening.
Bye.